So you must give the right advice. You must ensure that they do what is right. Because when they leave, they are the ones that will suffer. If what they did was right, if what they did was right, they are the ones that will take it.
Senator Akpabio observed that President Buhari thought it wise to appoint two sons of the Niger Delta to run the affairs of the Ministry of the Niger Delta Affairs and to partner with the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC to help fast-track the development of the region.
It is not a mere coincidence that Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief, President Muhammadu Buhari, in his wisdom, selected this time around a son of the Niger Delta and the Minister of the Delta, son of the Niger Delta, two Niger Deltans, to work in the Ministry of Niger Delta, to collaborate with the NDDC to move the region forward.
The former two-time governor of Akpabio State advised the Niger Delta Development Commission to stop pretending to have the capacity to solve all the problems facing the people of the region, as he urged the Commission to stop politically motivated projects and prioritize key signature projects in the various focal states of the oil-producing region.
There is something else that we have been doing in the past. NDDC has been pretending as if you can solve all the problems of the region. Madam, you cannot. You don't have the funds. You don't have the resources to solve all the problems of this region. So don't pretend. I direct that the Commission must prioritize some signature projects in each state of the 9 states of the Niger Delta. Ensure regular funding, close monitoring and supervision, and also bring about prompt delivery so that we can have legacy projects in the Niger Delta.
While stating the similarities between his ministry and that of the NDDC, the minister maintained that there is the need for them to work with one accord to chart a new course for the people of the Niger Delta region. The Honorable Minister stated that crude oil, which is the mainstay of the Niger Delta region, is finite, as he announced plans to start a post-amnesty initiative, PAI, which will be domiciled in each of the 9 oil-producing states as industrial clusters. Senator Godswill Akpabio commended the Niger Delta Development Commission for completing the 24 billion naira Ogbeanembe Road, built in partnership with Shell Petroleum Development Company, SPDC, as he observed that the success story of the partnership would serve as a challenge to other local and international oil companies in the region.
The recently completed Nembe Road, Nembe Road, at about 24.4 billion. And of course, the funding was 70% from Shell, I think 30% from NDDC was commended. Such initiatives with Totafina Health, Monebolo, and other oil companies operating in the region must be encouraged. In fact, that should serve as a challenge to other IOCs to come and partner with you to do major projects of that nature.
Earlier, the Acting Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Dr. Akwagaga Lelajima Enya, said that the NDDC is now working hard to redirecting the negative narratives about the Commission by making sure there is value for money spent by the NDDC on the execution of projects and provision of services to the people of the region. Dr. Enya said that the NDDC took seriously the challenge of the minister to complete the Commission's headquarters buildings, as she informed the minister that critical action towards advancing the project had been taken by the Commission with the contractor to ensure that the project was completed and delivered within an acceptable deadline. The Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission informed the minister that in less than 3 weeks, the NDDC had extended its frontiers in the desire to reduce poverty by half and transform Niger Delta rural communities.
However, as a commission, we are committed to our mandate and executing same without fear or favor Despite the odds, we are committed to quality service delivery. We count on your support, Your Excellency, to serve the Niger Delta region better, a service they demand and truly deserve.
And of course, it was to be expected, the two ministers coming to the Niger Delta after they were inaugurated recently as the Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs and the Minister of State in the Niger Delta Affairs. Of course, they have to come to the NDDC to find out what has been going on there. They've been observing, of course, as ministers, and they've thrown one or two questions around. For example, why is it taking 28 years to finish the permanent complex of the NDDC? Last week, we brought you a whole story on that, and that one of the first places the two ministers visited to ask the same questions and get some answers.
The Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and his Minister of State, Mr. Felix Keyamo, recently inspected the progress of work at the Niger Delta Development Commission's 13-floor permanent headquarters building at the East Bypass in Port Harcourt. The minister, who was accompanied by the acting managing director of the commission and directors of the NDDC to the site, expressed satisfaction at the level of work done so far, since he gave the directive that the management of the commission should ensure that work on the building is fast-tracked to give staff and management a fitting and conducive office environment to work.
This will be a conducive place for everybody to come to go. And of course, we have all the facilities here. We will help them. They have clinics, they have space for banks. So the building will not only be a place for accommodation, it will also make money for them, generate revenue from here.
Senator Akpabio urged the contractor to do everything within his power to ensure that the building is completed at the latest the first quarter of next year, as President Buhari is eager to commission the NDDC new headquarters.
So our intention is to bring President Muhammadu Buhari to come here because he believes in change. And that change means that this project cannot remain like this abandoned for 23 years without being commissioned.
The acting MD of NDDC, Dr. Akpabio, said a work plan had been drawn up for the contractor to follow, while promising to closely monitor the progress of work at the new building site.
We have a weekly work plan that we believe that they will stick to. And as I told them, I'll have my table and chair here to see that I supervise them.
Earlier, the project manager informed the minister and his entourage that the contractor and the NDDC have come together with a commitment to fast-track work on the building in order to realize the scheduled delivery of the project.
Now we've got commitments. The contractors are committed. The commission is committed. We believe we have the tools now to deliver.
The acting MD of the NDDC conducting the Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, Dr. Godswill Akpabio, around the ongoing project called the permanent complex of the NDDC. Now, in the Niger Delta, roads have become major issues, and one of the outstanding interventions of the Ministry of the Niger Delta has been the construction of the rather splendiferous East-West Road. It's a magnificent edifice, but parts of this road have broken down over time, and parts of it have actually not been done at all. So if the minister is to finish his job, the minister has to go where the problem is, which is what happened. The acting MD of the NDDC, Dr. Akpabio, led the minister to the uncompleted section of the East-West Road in Port Harcourt.
Senator Akpabio, along with his entourage, also inspected the failed Nkpolu Junction section of the East-West Road in Port Harcourt. Here, the minister was confronted with a section of the East-West Road which has deteriorated to the point that vehicles have virtually stopped plying both sides of the road, as water has completely washed off the asphalt on the road, leaving behind big gullies and potholes.
From here, this road leads straight to Akpabio. This road here leads straight to Akpabio.
And the other part too,
yeah.
Round too has the same problem.
Exactly. Now there's no way, people cannot no longer pass here to the other side. What they do is that passengers going to Rumokoro, for instance, alight at this point and then trek to the other side and then move. But here is not. All the trailers and tankers coming now divert through this state route to Ikwere and now goes to either Rumokoro or they go to Rumokoro. And it has also created a very big burden there.
Even the weight.
It's not meant for that kind of passenger.
The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs affirmed the deplorable condition of the section of the Nkulo junction of the East-West Road, as he noted that the federal government will intervene and help fix the road so that normal activities can return to the area.
Fixing the road is not the issue. No, it will fail again. It will fail again because it will only work during the dry season. As soon as the rainy season comes, the road will fail again. And more places will be flooded. So we must find a way to take the water out of this place as it used to go naturally before the construction of this building. Otherwise, what we are doing will just be a fiery victory where we believe that we have solved the problem and then next year we'll still experience the same problem. We'll go and look at it. But I assure you that we are not going to sleep until we find a solution.
The Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, Dr. Godswill Akpabio, in the company of the Acting Managing Director of the NDDC, Dr. Akpabio, assuring all of us that this road will eventually be done and in the shortest possible time. The contractors already have a marching order to that effect. Now, we talked about how long it's taking the permanent complex of the NDDC headquarters to be done. We should also take a look at this road too and say, why is it taking so long to be done? Because last year we brought you a comprehensive report on the road and would like to visit that report again. The Niger Delta, a region with enormous potentials in oil and gas, the trademark that has put the nation's economy on its global map position. But it is sad to know that every activity involving the production and business of oil and gas in the Niger Delta, in most cases, have left many troubles than gains, particularly in the minds and the lives of the people across the region. The East-West Road, a regional highway which cuts across the south-south states of the Niger Delta. This highway traverses many cities, including Port Harcourt, and it's just one out of hundreds of roads begging for attention all over the Niger Delta. The East-West Federal Highway is a single project that is arguably considered to be the most vital infrastructure of the federal government in the entire South-South region. Awarded in 2006 and transferred to the Ministry of the Niger Delta Affairs in 2008 for its quick completion, the project has suffered inadequate budget allocation over the years. In his maiden visit to the Commission headquarters in Port Harcourt, the Minister said his visit was first to familiarize himself with the Commission, then most especially to seek the cooperation and collaboration with the NDDC for the completion of the 11 years ongoing construction project of this 362-kilometer Warri-Calabar highway, fondly called the East-West Road. It traverses 5 states out of the 9 mandate states of the NDDC. Shortly after the minister's visit, the NDDC had an immediate cause to help. A section of the road within Port Harcourt, the distance between Eleme Junction and the Onay Junction, had failed. This stubborn terrain had over the years defied different engineering techniques in road construction, thereby causing so much delay to motorists and travelers plying the route. The NDDC is giving the road a fresh reconstruction. Mr. Nsime Kerry, on a visit to the project site, was accompanied by the Executive Director of Project Engineer Samuel Ajogbe and other directors of the Commission for an inspection toward the project site. Mr. Nsime Kerry assured motorists and commuters that the emergency repairs on the failed section will be completed within 3 weeks. The MD CEO during the inspection described the failing section as the gateway to the economic activities of the Niger Delta. The MD expressed his satisfaction so far for the quality of work which the contractor had done within the few days they've been on site. He assured the strict monitoring and supervising of the project by the team of the Commission's engineers. In order to guarantee the quality of the work, the contractor is asked to deliver.
So far, the quality of work I'm seeing here is impressive. I'm not an engineer, but from what I hear from the engineering team, this seems to be a very impressive work. But it's even as a layman, the fact that you have to excavate in some areas, like you've explained, in some areas you have to excavate up to 2.5 meters, take away the unsuitable soil, and then import fresh soil, suitable soil, to remedy the failed portions. It's a very impressive work. And then you've used a lot of hardcore before the stone base and before the asphalt.
Yeah. So on the average for that portion, we had about 2 meters average excavated because it was varying from 2.5 to 1.5. But that C4I checkpoint area, but that was more critical because that's practically will have high traffic, vehicles stopping because of the checkpoint and all that. Yeah. So there was a lot of load bearing on that particular road.
The pace at which the contractor was working, according to some motorists on the road, was commendable. They expressed their confidence and satisfaction for the urgent intervention of the NDDC.
There's improvement because it's trying. If they leave this road now, we have covered more and we'll be seeing many things. Many things. Motor for accident will be according to.
As some spectators that came to the scene to catch a glimpse of the MD's visit also affirmed the importance of the road to motorists, Niger Deltans and Nigerians at large.
Yes, and we need the speed of this road.
There's a difference. The difference we're hoping that by the time they finish, we'll be able to pass.
Although the standard and quality of the engineering work which a contractor has put in place so far, some experts have said is commendable, taking into consideration the volume of articulated vehicles plying the route on a daily basis, one can say only the end will justify all confidence. Decades ago, the kingdom of Nembe, among other communities, buried in the bellies of the Bayelsa mangroves, were cut off from economic and social civilization for lack of motorable roads. In 2006, the NDDC, in partnership with Shell, came with the promise of hope. A 27-kilometer high-tech highway with 5 bridges cutting through rivers, swamps and mangrove forests of the Ogbia Upume Amakalakala up to the city of Nembe town. It's now in use. The joy of the Nembes and its environs now knows no bounds. Nembe economy and the industriousness of its people have taken a sudden leap.
Before we used to join boats, 2 days we are on the sea, going to Port Harcourt, boat we cover side, people we lost. But now that motorable route don't come out, we are happy to travel to Port Harcourt, Yanagwa and everywhere.
Unlike in those days when before you have to travel, you must wake as early as 5 to go to the waterside, to wait for boat, and disappointments that are inherent. But today, at the stamp of the hand, you can go and come. Today, as I speak to you, we are relaxed. We can travel at will. And then the joy of being integrated to the mainland can never be quantified.
The Ogbia Nembe Road, a major contemporary contribution of the NDDC to the development of the Niger Delta. The NDDC, focused and enabled, will do more. So much about the East-West Road. Now we have word, of course, that this project will be finished very soon. Now, the acting MD of the NDDC, belonging of course to the Federal Tax, is so concerned about the vulnerable part of Niger Delta's population, that is disabled and women. Now, she has told us that she's going to do something that is significant in this regard, rehabilitating women and rehabilitating the more vulnerable members of the society in the Niger Delta. Well, she put something like that in place recently when she organized through the NDDC a training program for disabled people in agriculture.
In recent years, the urgency to deal with the socioeconomic conditions of people living with disabilities has resulted in various human capacity development programs to train, empower, and make them self-sufficient and able to make greater contributions towards the development of their communities and the nation at large. The Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), obviously aware of the impact which the training and empowerment of the people living with disabilities will make on the general development of their communities, has continued to organize programs and activities aimed at developing this group of people. As a result, the NDDC has organized training and empowerment programs in agriculture for people with disabilities across the 9 Niger Delta states to help address the issue of unemployment, poverty, and generally give them a sense of belonging.
The lucky ones that we have going to select through senatorial district, we were going to empower them, after training them, to empower them through fish processing, cassava processing, and other agricultural areas.
The project manager urged the participants to make good use of the opportunity given to them by the NDDC to be self-reliant. This program, tagged Empowering People with Disabilities in Agriculture, is geared towards affording the physically challenged opportunities to acquire requisite skills to help them compete equally and favorably in agricultural businesses with able-bodied people.
This program is addressing the SDGs. It's addressing the Sustainable Development Goal. But specifically, it's addressing Goal 1, reduce hunger and end poverty, Goal 1 and 2. But the 17 goals they are intertwined. Yes. And it's addressing Goal 10, reducing inequalities. Because if you are empowered, your gap between the rich and the poor we are bridging the gap.
Beneficiaries of this training and empowerment program in agriculture commended the NDDC for organizing such a program, noting that the gesture has given them a sense of belonging in the oil-producing region as they promise to put what they have learned into practice to add value to the society.
So many of us in our environment here, most of our major source of income is farming, and we have looked forward to doing mechanized farming, and this is a great opportunity for us to key into this program.
And I want to say a very big thank you to NDDC once more, because of the little skills they have trained us how to do process garri, cassava, juice and palm oil as the program is still going on. So they have had meaning to our lives for us to go out of the streets.
Before, I never knew there's a machine that helps to fry garri. Being a disabled person, you cannot go to the farm, crop, but now we know you can buy cassava and do it. As for me, I will do the fishing aspect. You can order for fish and dry it. I've learned so much about fishery.
The highlight of the training and empowerment program was the handover of the different agricultural processing equipment to the trainees to further assist them to practice what they had learned.
I want to encourage them that they should make use of this opportunity, because the government is doing their best to make sure that they earn a living. So they should not. They should make sure that this machine given to them, they are well taken care of, they are well maintained, so that at the end they will look back and say that if not for NDDC and government, they would have been somewhere else.
So we had the two big guns in the house this week, the Minister of the Niger Delta and his immediate junior, the Minister of State in the Niger Delta, Festus Kayamo, coming to the NDDC to ask questions and get answers. Well, we'll be following them and the NDDC in subsequent weeks on this program, as you always trust us will do, and also the development strides of the new acting managing director, Dr. Akpabio Enya. We'll be here. We hope you will be there. Thank you for watching. See you same time next week.